It is believed that the physical activity that men do in the gym can impact hair loss. The dots that we generally connect to establish a link between intense, severe exercise and hair loss is based on the surmise that increased testosterone levels happen with exercise. This increased testosterone level increases the amount of DHT, which in turn shrinks the hair follicles and causes hair loss. But is this deduction as simple as it sounds? Do all forms of exercise cause hair loss? And does this hair loss after exercise affect everybody? Well, that is what we are going to discuss in this video. So exercise can be broadly classified into two types. One is anaerobic and the other one is aerobic exercise. Simply put, if you can pass the talk test, the exercise that you are engaged in is most likely aerobic exercise. You are at an aerobic level if while exercising you can talk while slightly breathless.
Thanks for joining me on a run.
Yeah, good place to be. 9,000 feet, Rollinsville, Colorado.
Aerobic exercise is a type of cardiovascular conditioning which we commonly refer to as cardio. A physical exercise of low to high intensity like brisk walk, jogging, swimming, and endurance cycling. It requires free oxygen and depends upon the aerobic energy generating process of metabolism. Your breathing excursions and your heart rate is bound to increase with aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercises help in keeping your heart, your lung, and your circulatory system in good health. And it is a level of activity that you can maintain for an extended period of time. On the other hand, anaerobic exercises are strenuous physical activity like sprinting, weightlifting, jump rope, push-ups, pull-ups, jump squats, crunches, and resistance training. Unlike aerobic exercises, anaerobic exercises require quick bursts of energy and are performed at maximum effort for a short period of time. Anaerobic exercises push your body and muscles to rely on energy stored in your muscles. And this is unlike aerobic exercises. Though aerobic exercises are done over a sustained period of time, anaerobic exercises in contrast is short, intense activity that has you working at the limits of your tolerance, and therefore this cannot be sustained over a long period of time. In aerobic exercise or with oxygen exercise, your muscles have enough oxygen to produce the energy required for them to perform. Anaerobic without oxygen exercise means that requirement of oxygen, that is the demand of oxygen, far outstrips the available oxygen, and you cannot keep up with the energy your body is demanding. This leads to buildup of lactate or lactic acid in the body, and eventually the exercise has to stop. For most people, extended periods of exercise, aerobic exercise, are required to achieve their objectives of fat loss. This often plateaus out and significant gains are not achieved. Anaerobic exercises, on the other hand, are performed as high intensity interval training called HIIT. And in HIIT, you rotate high intensity intervals of exercise with intervals of rest, with intervals of recovery. So a combination of aerobic and anaerobic exercise is the best mode, the best path to achieving the objectives that you have for yourself, the objectives of weight loss. So it is important to understand the metabolism of exercise. Oxygen is an important prerequisite to burn fat as fuel. And since aerobic exercise utilizes oxygen, it can metabolize both fat and glucose as fuel. Anaerobic exercise, on the other hand, can only burn glucose as fuel for producing energy because it is essentially a without oxygen exercise. And this ingredient, glucose, is available in the muscles for quick, short bursts of energy. So glucose is the fuel of choice when the body runs out of oxygen. when the body is overwhelmed by short bursts of physical activity. And this process of converting glucose into energy during short bursts of intense physical activity is termed glycolysis. And this is the quickest form that the body has to produce energy. But this process of glycolysis also produces lactate when it metabolizes glucose. And this lactate or lactic acid builds up in the body and causes muscle fatigue. However, it has been seen that regular anaerobic exercises increases the body's efficiency to do away with the buildup of lactate in the body. The body's tolerance or the lactate threshold is raised. The more anaerobic activity that you do raises the threshold of tolerance to lactate buildup and the speedy, efficient disposal by the body of lactate. And you will see that for a longer period of time, if you continue to do anaerobic exercises, your tolerance improves. You can do anaerobic exercises without oxygen exercises for a longer period of time without getting fatigued. This is because the body efficiently disposes lactate buildup and it increases the lactate tolerance threshold in your body. While cardio exercises or aerobic oxygen-based exercises are known to reduce DHT levels, anaerobic exercises or exercises without oxygen, anaerobic exercises of high intensity, excessive anaerobic exercises have been shown to have a link with excessive hair loss. This is because anaerobic exercises greatly increase the level of testosterone. But does that mean that anaerobic exercises will cause hair loss in everybody? No, that is not true, because hair loss will happen only in those people who are genetically predisposed, people who are genetically susceptible to the onslaught of male pattern baldness. In these patients, we have seen that anaerobic exercises, if done in excess, will cause triggering of baldness, triggering of the baldness gene, and early baldness. And in these people, matters get worse when they start taking performance enhancing proteins, especially those which contain growth hormones. And these supplements cause a further spike in the level of testosterone in the body, and hair loss becomes more aggressive. It has also been seen that supplements with too much of vitamin A increase the level of hair loss. So to put it briefly and in perspective, exercise is not the sole reason why you get hair loss after joining the gym. It is your genetic predisposition to baldness and the supplements that you take that are responsible for your hair loss you witness within 1 to 2 months of joining the gym. To conclude, if you're thinning and have the baldness gene in your family, it is advisable that when you go to the gym, when you exercises, you do more of aerobic exercises than anaerobic exercises. And do not take supplements. Incorporate natural sources of protein, natural sources of energy into your diet regime. Consume a healthy and balanced diet that contains your body's requirement for vitamins and minerals. For very little alteration in your exercise regime and your diet protocols can save you from a lot of worry due to hair loss. So thank you for watching and God bless.